Hey everybody, this is Spencer, and I'm here to talk today about the new Bihn fabric, the Spectron 420D, which is I would say, the successor spiritually and physically to the Black Halcyon. But first, I have a confession. I'm a Halcyon addict. I have collected a lot of Halcyon pieces over the years, and when Bihn offered to send me a Spectron and a pilot, I was like, well, that's perfect, because I really like Halcyon pilots. As you can see, I got some pretty cool ones. But we're going to focus on this one, which is the most recently retired of all the Halcyon fabrics. We're going to focus on Black Halcyon. And we're going to focus on Spectron and figure out, we're going to answer the question, is this Spectron a good replacement for Black Halcyon? And I'm here to say that yes, I think it is. Let's talk about it. First things first, you're going to notice the look. The look is noticeably diamondier. It's kind of like how X-Pac looks. You can see that when you're looking at X-Pac, you can see that diamond pattern, right? Pretty much the same thing applies to the Spectron material, okay? It does have like this very, the grid pattern is very similar to Black Halcyon, but the diamonds really stand out. That's first and foremost. The material, and I don't know if this is a function of age. This is a bag's at least several years old. I'm not really sure. I've used it a lot, but not more than I would have another bag. The material on Spectron is a lot shinier. It just is. It's more reflective. I don't know if that's coming through or not, but you can definitely see that's kind of a duller look on the Black Halcyon versus the Spectron. Let's talk about the feel a little bit. If I feel these and kind of compare them, they feel extremely similar. I would say this is a little softer. This is a little bit more kind of just slightly more coarse, but we're talking a very similar kind of hand feel. I would say that if I had my eyes closed and I hadn't picked up a Halcyon bag in a while, I'd probably know it was different, but I might not know. I might have thought it was newer. Another kind of thing I'd point out is that this bag tends to wrinkle. It looks a little bit more wrinkled as I'm looking at it in the light. This one, it just kind of smooths out. I mean, there's obvious bumps here, but like when the fabric kind of sits at a comfortable spot, the peaks are a little bit like a little more rounded, a little smooth. I know that's like, I'm kind of talking off the cuff here. I know that's super into the weeds, but I know that some of you will appreciate that. Many of you will appreciate that because you're Bihn fans like me. Let's talk about the weight. I would say this is a little lighter, but there's really only one way to know for sure, and that's using a scale. Nice, dirty postal scale. So let's put this here, back this up. That's going to be off a little bit because these have zipper pulls. What are you going to do? Weigh it and see what we think. Notice I've got it all scrunched up. People were asking, how well does it pack? I'd say it probably packed pretty well, wouldn't it? Let's put that on here. Kind of maybe set that on there. Just 15.7, just under a pound. Let's do the Black Halcyon now. One thing I notice as I bend, the Black Halcyon feels a little bit stiffer. This one's about 1.1 ounces, so very similar, subtracting just a tiny fraction for the zipper pulls. So in terms of weight, very similar. Packability, you notice that I was folding this over, folding this quite a bit. A lot of people have always appreciated that Black Halcyon is very packable. I used to carry around a Black Halcyon daylight backpack in a bigger backpack, but honestly, I stopped doing that mainly because the straps were kind of uncomfortable. So we've got here, and you can see Spectron is pretty well just as foldable, just as stuffable, I think, into another bag. So pretty much a tie there. And of course, you do a test pack. I'm only going to pack this one. I think that the Black Halcyon one would pack very similarly. There's not a lot of surprises here. We're mainly focused on the fabric, right? Not the pilot itself, but I'll go briefly over it. We have a water bottle pocket, or an empty coffee mug, or a full one if you're adventurous, right here in the middle, although I have used it for other things. You have these nice two front pockets, which are perfectly sized for my spiff kit and my handy little thing. Goes in here. Plenty of room. Put that one up. And then you kind of have this back pocket here, which has 2 slots. I might put like battery in here, and maybe some extra wires in here. These aren't very well folded, a little bit messy, but that's the way it goes sometimes. And then, of course, I have a laptop. I did recently switch to a 14-inch MacBook Pro as my main computer, and this sleeve doesn't exactly fit it. I have a bunch of cash sleeves left over from the years that I've collected them, and this one fits just fine. It fits a lot better. I used to put a 16-inch in here sometimes, and I must say it was a very tight fit indeed. In fact, it made the zipper bow out, so I didn't particularly care for it. And then we could do cache loops if we wanted to. Not super important to me. I just need to know the laptop's protected. And then I might have a keyboard. I might put that in there, but I'm just going to stick with the iPad. And I'll put that in the back there. Put that in a sleeve. Okay, so packed up. It looks pretty good. I didn't pack it super full. Just some observations. I like the way that the fabric lays out. Very black Halcyon-esque, except of course the obvious diamond pattern. But you can tell that the bag itself, nice and full. But if you wanted to overpack it with like a 16-inch laptop, you absolutely could. And I have done that before with a Pilot. The one question people were asking some questions about roughness. And so I'm going to do something that I've actually never done before. We're going to do just a little bit of a stress test. Now, fair warning, I tend to baby my bags. And what I mean by that is I use them. I'll put them in the overhead bin. I'll put them under the thing. Like, I'll use them, but they're not abused, if that makes sense. Like, I'm still somewhat, I will think, oh, you know, I want to set it down in a nice place, right? So I wouldn't say I baby them, probably a bad way of putting it, more than I do use them, but I'm not like super rough with them, even though I know that I could be. But we're going to be rough with it. We're going to be rough with it. And first I thought, it's a nice little thing that normally I would carry with me, this keyboard, might scuff up a bag. Would it not? So let's take a look here. That's aluminum, and you'd think that that would scuff that up. I know that some people are probably looking at me like, wow, Spencer, you must be crazy. But hey, you all asked for it, and I am here to serve, as it were. So first off, I did notice, you can see, it's really hard to tell, it's probably not coming on camera, that I definitely scraped it up right here. Try and get it on this side now. Oh yeah, I'm definitely making marks. So like, you will be able to, the scuffs will show, right? They won't show super well. I have to say that this scuff and this scuff that I just created really blend well into the bag. Should I do this with my black Halcyon bag? I don't love that idea because I can't get black Halcyon anymore, but for the sake of experiment, let's just do it. Oh yeah, I definitely beat that up. I could tell that I introduced some scrapey scrapes right there using that corner of that aluminum. And oh yeah, I did the same there, you could tell. But I would say that the Spectra kind of hides it a little better, where the black Halcyon, definitely it comes through. I know that's really hard to come through on camera, but that was just a couple of scrapes, and that went right through. Now, most people don't scrape aluminum onto bags. It's certainly not sharp edges of aluminum. It's mostly like going through conveyor belts in airplanes or scuffing against a wall. So let's try that too. Let's go and scuff the wall with this thing, holding this thing. What do you say about that? Certainly marking up my walls. I don't think my wife's gonna love that. All right, over here. All right, how about a wooden door? Oh, scraped it against the wooden door. Ooh, that left a mark. Oh, that definitely left something there. I think that would come right out. All right, let's try it again. Oh yeah, that did something. I think that's just paint though. I think that's all just paint, which is fine. Is that actually hurting the Spectra? Get in there, Lucy, right there. I don't think that really did anything. I don't know. I mean, that's paint, obviously, but that didn't make, okay, you gotta keep it, can't push it all the way in. All right. Okay, we did the paint test. Now, how about the dirt, slightly dirty water, mulch, and rock test. How's that go for this fabric? Before you guys claim abuse, just so you know, y'all asked for it. I'm just telling you. You got to see how this does. First of all, I wish I had more dirt here, but to be honest with you, my ground outside is frozen, so I only work with what I got. Hold on, gotta get some rock up in there, right? It's really hard to tell what the rock's doing because it's wet there. But I imagine it's probably scraping the fabric. Admittedly, though, it's resisting the rock a little better than it is the keyboard. What about all this dirt? Is it seeping through? Let's see, besides where I've obviously touched it. Nope. Gotta move that in here, though. Gotta get that all in there. I mean, that's just not enough water to soak through. It's gonna soak through, obviously, the zipper parts. Like, you're gonna see, like, yeah, I know it's really hard to see, but the zipper, it's soaked through the zipper a little bit, which is what you would expect. Oh, great, my table's dirty. To me, that's not that big a deal. I rarely, to be honest with you, this is the first time I think this is the dirtiest any bag of mine has ever been. And I would say that, I mean, for mulch, soft wood, water, Spectron is obviously, like black Halcyon would probably repel this just fine and clean up just fine. The rock might cause me some concern. Really trying to get in there, really scraping it up, like in a way beyond normal use. And I have to clean it off. We'll try this spot right here and then really get in. We'll see. We'll see how that looks once I get it all cleaned off. But I'll clean this off and probably resume the video the next day and show you what this all looks like. Okay, so I put it in front of a low heater to dry it off. I ended up taking it to the bathtub and not really sure what I was hoping to prove, to be honest with you, because mulch and water and dirt should come right off of pretty much any bag. Just remember, don't put them in the washing machine. That voids the warranty. But what I did is just basically kind of run it through my bathtub. And it worked pretty well. I mean, there's some remnants of mulch in there. You can see some scrapies from hitting it against the wall. You can see, but like this is what I would consider to be normal wear and tear. There's nothing really crazy about this. Somebody else mentioned, besides the aluminum, how about a key? What does key scratches look like? So let's take a look at that. And I know Lockpicking Lawyer wouldn't approve of putting a key like this on camera. This key's not in use anymore, so it's all good. Okay, I'm not doing it too hard because I have my limits, and B, in most scenarios, the key's not going to be dug into that hard. But it's definitely okay. I'm doing it a little harder. I'm getting used to this. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I don't think it's really doing much damage. Like, it's doing way less than I would expect. I think I actually got a little snag on something here. So I did snag it right there a little bit. Yeah, let's go into that a little more. Well, I definitely did it's definitely damage. It's definitely slight abrasion. But, like, nothing that, like, how often are you going to scrape a key against a bag? So, pretty good. I'd say the aluminum keyboard certainly did more damage. I can still see the remnant of its scraping, and this is I wouldn't say it's sharp, but it's it's definitely an edge, and it's not going to cut you, but it certainly would scrape up a bag, and I can still definitely see the scrape where I did that right here. It's probably not coming through on camera. It should attest to the durability of the bag and its ability to take scratches. So really nothing crazy here so far. I do see this. I'm not exactly sure what caused that. That's definitely a fabric abrasion right there. But other than that, it's kind of just holding up. I really don't have much to say. It's kind of just holding up. I really don't have much to say about it. All of these is kind of how my bag looks anyways. It's just that, I've just, scraped past the point of saying, oh, the first scratch on the car. And that's totally okay. So let's conclude with kind of talking a little bit about is this a worthy successor to Halcyon? And I already said, yes, it definitely is. You can definitely tell the pattern is definitely more diamond, but in terms of its hardiness, durability, we saw that I was able to scrape up the black Halcyon bag, and that's a very good bag, right? It's a very good fabric. I was able to scrape it up pretty easily, where this one really took a little bit more punishment. But beyond the durability, the look of it is just awesome. The feel of it is just awesome. It's a little shinier. It's a little, I'd say, smoother. Black Halcyon's a little rougher. But I think Spectron is an excellent material. I can say that perfectly objectively, having been a person who loves Black Halcyon, that I really like this fabric. And, you know, thank you to Tom Bihn for allowing me to review this. They didn't ask me to, they just asked me to review it. They asked for me for my honest thoughts. And I gave it to them. You know, I'm giving it to them. I would happily buy or trade for a bag in this fabric of a bag even that I already own. So if you have any other comments or questions, please put them below. If you want to join my Facebook group, Tom Bihn Superfans, I'll leave a link in the description for that as well. Pretty much just a bunch of Tom Bihn bag nerds talking about Tom Bihn. I was really happy to get this fabric. I was really happy to review it. So please let me know your thoughts. And that's pretty much it. Have a good one, folks. Thanks a lot.